Good evening, everyone. Thank you for coming to this Zoom section. My name is Huli Ho, a volunteer conducting IT classes in library at Harbourfront. At the moment, we have converted these classes using Zoom online. As Tiffany just said, all my notes are posted in my blog normally 3 or 4 days before the event. And if you are interested to have a copy of my notes, you just go to the blog below right-hand corner, there's a word follow, click on it and submit your email address. Subsequent posts, you will get an email copy. Every talk is recorded by the library. They will extend a copy to me. And with the copy, I upload to my YouTube channel. So at the moment, we have done 8 topics. So all these past topics, you just go to the relevant post on the first line, YouTube link, click on it. You will get a link to the past talks. Now, in February, I'm doing a new topic. This is the first time I'm doing it. It's on the 4th and 25th. Normally, my talk is on the first Thursday and the third Thursday. Because third Thursday is somewhere around Chinese New Year, I push back another week to 25th. And I attempt to let you aware, appreciate, and create photo haiku. So you notice this notice is worded somehow in the haiku format, 575 syllables or sound. February we meet, not too much to ask from you. Hope to see you soon. Friendship is what we after. In these Zoom sessions we come. Hope one will last forever. Event needs no cash, only find and pay with time. As simple as that. So if you are interested, don't miss these 2 sessions. We will learn together how to do photo haiku. And I can show you some of the past haiku done by some past participants. So for this topic on making your own PC, we have 2 parts today and 2 weeks later. And part 3 is actually not a library program. It's actually my program. For those who, you can say, time to build a new one. What actually happened is, yesterday I built one for my friend. What happened is he has used the last computer, also built by me, for about 10 years without problem. So he asked me what to do with it. I said 10 years is good to change. So he gave the old computer to me. I built a new one and I transfer all his data from the old computer to the new computer. All this FOC, just because of friendship. Hey, Wana. Computer system. Hey, Wan. Sorry, computer system. That might never gone away. Go already. Computer system. Today we are doing the hardware aspect. I think the past month or so we have done the operating system. So in a computer system, you notice there are 4 areas we have to be aware and understand. Now, this is just a simple key points on what is inside a computer and what is outside a computer. They are all interconnected, interrelated. So I will touch on some of them just to give you a broad idea how a computer system works. These notes are in the blog. You can take time to study it, and if you have any questions, you can ask me for that. Now, I try to make computer technology as simple as possible. So we are now talking about how computer processes information. You notice every computer have a set of RAM. And what is the purpose of the RAM? The purpose of the RAM is to gather a certain logic that you repeat many times. So you notice if a hawker make a char kway teow dish, A, B, C, D, E are their ingredients. So depends on their skill, they will know what to do with the portion of it, and they come out with a plate of char kway teow. So computer will keep on monitoring what the hawker is doing, and the computer will generate a F without the hawker knowing. So when the order is 5 plates of char kway teow, instead of the hawker repeating A, B, C, D, E 5 times, the computer just give 5F as the output. From there, I hope you understand the logic, how fast the processing is. They study your manner, what you're doing. If you're doing calculation, if your calculation has a certain pattern of repeating itself, they will memorize it. I call this temporary memory. Then every time you do the same thing, they will just throw out the final result. That means they throw out the F and they shortcut the system of doing A, B, C, D, E again, and it takes more time. So that is how they process. Now, how computer calculate? In school, we learn the decimal way of calculation. 1 plus 8 equals to 9. Computer don't do that. Computer only can recognize black or white, yes or no, 1 or 0. That's all they can do. Now, how do the mathematician use this logic to make the computer calculate in a faster way? So here I give you one example of a binary system that has a base of 2. So you have to take the row as a vertical row. The first row is 2 to the power of 0. The second row is 2 to the power of 1. Then it goes on. Depends on whether it's a 8-bit or 16-bit processing, or 32-bit or 64-bit processing. Then you know what I mean. There are so many combinations. So if the computer have a record of yes, no, no, yes, what the computer is trying to calculate is 2 to the power of 0 plus 2 to the power of 3, because the yes on the fourth column is a yes. So it's 2 to the power of 3. So it still come out with the same answer. So that is the most simplistic way I can explain to you how computer processes. They may not use the base of 2. They may use different bases, okay? And for security reason, they may use other method also. But this is the fundamental of how computer processes calculation. Now come to image. If you see the bottom picture, you notice it's quite clear, but you try to expand it, you will see squares. So all these squares are called pixels. So when you see 1920 times the other value, that means there are so many dots on the picture. So that is one aspect of computer image resolution. Second aspect of computer image is the color tone. Every color tone has a computer code. It depends on how detailed you want your image to be, or how many pixels you want it to be. Pixel doesn't need to be a square, can be a dot, can be a round dot. But what color it comes out, it depends on the color code that you assign to that dot. And with all the dots come out together, you will get a very nice detailed picture with very high resolution. That's how computer generate a picture. Currently, to build a computer system, these are the major parts. First, you need to get a motherboard. Depends on the requirements. It can be a game machine, can be a simple productive machine, or can be as simple as just for email and internet. All depends, and the price also different. Video card. Some of the motherboard has built-in video card, but sometimes you may need an external video card. Wi-Fi adapter is because sometimes we put our desktop somewhere away from the router. So we need a router, wireless router to send the signal. Then you need a Wi-Fi adapter to receive the signal. The M2 series of hard disk is a solid state hard disk. This is the more common now. I will show you the picture later. The SATA disk is the old-fashioned disk. It's still available if you want to buy this. This has moving parts. Then you need a power unit to convert the household supply of 220 volts to DC to maybe 12, 24 volts. Then you need a box to house all your computer parts. Actually, there are three sizes: ATX, MTX, and ITX. ITX are not so popular now because it's too compact. So now normally people buy ATX and MTX. Monitor, keyboard, mouse, speaker. Depends on what standard you want. Then you need to have an operating system. So for PC, the default software is always Microsoft Office. Though you can use Linux or other software if you know how to configure them. Microsoft Office is more user-friendly for people who don't need to know a lot about a computer. Linux, I think you need to know a bit computer in order to use it properly. If you want to use a computer for Zoom lesson, you have to buy additional webcam and a microphone. There are some there are some headphone integrate with a mic. Also, you can use that. All depends on what you want to use your PC for at home. If you need to do some printing, then you think of what kind of printer to buy. And if you want to listen to some background music, then you have to buy the smart speaker. All this can be connected to your PC that you have just built. You can even get a Google Home, smart home, for door lock, for security camera. So you can do all this. And you need operating system. And if you do productivity work, you may need to get a Microsoft Office. But there are other Word document free like Google document and even Apple Page. All these are free software. But if you buy a PC, you need to pay for this Microsoft Office. Photo editing, you can get some free software in the internet, or you buy a simple one to learn how to do photo editing. So for item 1 to 3, you need a home broadband to communicate between equipment. This is a picture of a motherboard, and you notice motherboard has a battery just to keep the clock going, and some simple memory of when is your last job you have done. And CPU is there. Then the RAM I talk about, the digital random access memory. Then at the back you have all those external socket for USB, for HDMI, for sound. Depends on which type of motherboard you buy and for what purpose you want to use it for. This is the dynamic random memory I talked about. You notice they have a slot somewhere, sometimes it's at the middle, sometimes it's at one end. It's because different generation of DRAM cannot be mixed with the old and new one for two reasons. One reason, the supply voltage may be different. Second reason is the frequency that they operate on may be different. So you cannot say you keep the old RAM and then use it on the new one, because the slot, you just can't go in, because the opening of the slot is at different location for different generation of DRAM. So this picture shows the DRAM is in position and the CPU has a fan. So when you do assembly, you will learn to put all this in order. So the CPU, when you unbox, is in this fashion. And when you go to the shop to buy the parts to assemble, the sales staff will definitely show you that when you take home, the CPU socket is in good condition. The reason is because some of those not so experienced people, they forgot about the slot. You know, my arrow pointing down there. They put the CPU in the reverse direction, and when they clamp it down, they spoil the socket. And they bring back to the shop and complain the CPU is not working. CPU is one of the major costs in a computer system. It can cost easily $150 to $200. I think more than that. I think $250 to $300, yes. Because a chip and a motherboard normally cost around $500. Though you can get cheaper, 400 or 300, but average quality is about $500 to $600. A video card, this is a basic video card. You don't have fans, you have only heatsink. You can ask, if the motherboard is already provided one video department, why you still need to buy an external one? The answer is the performance are different. When you buy an external one, you can select whatever performance you want. Performance can be in terms of resolution, in terms of how fast you refresh the picture. When I say refresh the picture, I mean the picture from A switch to B, how fast it switch. So all these matters when you assemble a game machine. Just now I told you that a PC, when put far away from a router, you need a certain receiver to receive it. So this is the receiver. They call that a network adapter. Basically what happened is this is connected to the motherboard with an external area, antenna, and they communicate with the router to and fro. Depends on what speed the technology applied at the model that you buy. So for this one, they even have Bluetooth incorporated on it. So you can send Bluetooth signal to your PC also if you buy this model. Yeah.
Mr. Ho, your slides just disappeared.
Oh. Hey. Okay, sorry. Okay, you come back. Okay, this is the M2 solid state drive C. In computer, you notice we always call it drive A, drive A, drive B, drive C, drive D. A is the reserved formerly for the floppy disk. A and B. So C is the hard disk that is used for installing the operating system. So you notice this one, you see it's a very thin sheet of with all the micro components inside, and there's no moving part. So this is the state of the art now to build a PC, solid state. In the olden days, you only get this type of technology in an Apple laptop, but now even desktop, you can have this type of technology. The entry point is about 250 gigabyte. So it's more than enough to install the operating system, and the balance you can use it as a storage. But normally for serious person, I don't advise you to store any information in this drive C. It's good to get an external drive to store your thing. The reason is because for whatever reason you need to reboot or reset your operating system or reinstall your operating system, you no need to transfer all your data out from this drive C. So that is the reason. But if you think that you don't have much information to store, then you don't even need to buy a SATA drive. Just this is good enough, 250 gigabyte. This is the conventional, we call it the standard SATA hard disk. Now entry level is 1 terabyte. It's about $65. Now you just see everything drop and they're all very cheap. So this has moving parts. So normally I recommend this as an external hard disk for storing all your photos, documents, everything. So that for whatever reason you need to reset your drive C, you don't disturb your data. For people who already have a lifestyle of a lot of information. But if you're using the PC only for internet and all that, then you don't need to buy this one. Here I show you the improvement as time goes on. Initially, we have the SATA, moving part hard disk. Then they convert to the SATA solid state. It's still very big. And now currently they are using the M2 NVMe standard. There's another one, not so popular, the PCI, also solid state, but slightly bigger. So you can say motherboard now can accept all these 4 types of hard disks. Even you don't buy it, they have provision for this. Now, as with any electronics, you need a power supply. So the main reason for the power supply is to transform the PUB AC supply 220 volts to DC low voltage, 24 or 12. And I put a note down there, don't open the box. The reason is because as long as you don't open the box, when you play with the computer, everything is safe. Because they are all very low DC current, DC voltage and DC current. So you ask yourself, one of these costs about not more than $100. Is your life worth more than $100 just to save a few dollars? Open up and investigate and check what is wrong and try to repair it. So it's not worth basing the life is so valuable. So once it's spoiled, even for what reason, just change a new one. This one shows you the back of the PC where you have different types of socket. Different model of motherboard has different quantity of USB slot. And you notice USB slot got 2 color, black and blue. Black is USB 2, blue is USB 3. USB 3 is the later technology that can transfer faster. Your information can communicate faster. And it is downward compatible. The reason is because if you have a USB 3 thumb drive, you can still use the USB socket 3. Sorry, a USB 2 thumb drive can use on a USB 3 socket. but not the other way around. That means you cannot use a USB 3 thumb drive on a USB 2 socket. It won't work on me. I don't know whether it work on your computer. These are simple keyboard and monitor. I'm not sure whether you all have experience. Sometimes you type the word, your email, the ad, when you use the tool to do it, it come out with a asterisk, and you don't know what to do with it. The reason is because you choose the wrong keyboard. When you install that time, you must choose the right version of the keyboard. Normally, we choose the USA International. Don't choose the UK version. Once you choose the UK version, your number 2, the ad for email will not come out ad. You come out with I think an inverted comma or I think yes, I think it's a double inverted comma, something like that. So that is the reason you choose the wrong keyboard. Software, wrong keyboard software, not the wrong keyboard. All computers have a sound output. It depends on how critical you are. If you're very critical music, you buy a better sound system. If not, just a simple one. This one costs about $45. So all depends on your taste and your lifestyle, on what type of music quality you are satisfied with. Now, if you check my earlier talk, you'll find that I have a topic on housekeeping. So even you build a new PC, you still need to follow these rules to upkeep your PC. You remember just now I told you my friend used the computer I built for more than 10 years? It's because I keep on bombarding her with instruction that remind her that you have to do this, you have to do that. So she's quite expert on it already after a few tries. So that what our friends for, you know. So these are the things in the notes. You can even visit the talk and get the full version of how to upkeep your PC. Now I have this community group. It's a closed group. That is where we make friends with each other. These notes, I think, is also in the blog. You can take time to read. And if you are interested, you are welcome to join. But please, if I don't know you, please submit all this to me. That's why I rejected a lot of you, because you just click join and you give me Mary Tan. First of all, I don't know whether Mary Tan is a male or a female. Okay, in Facebook, a lot of funny things can happen. So please, if I don't know you, that means you are not formally in my WhatsApp group, please give me this information. Not so much to ask for, but at least I know who you are, you know what I mean? And from there, I can communicate with you further before I accept you as a member. Okay, I think I finished my part 1 talk.